And welcome. This is me. Over the years, I have been repeatedly asked what I believe in, why I'm not a Christian, if I believe in God, whether I'm an atheist or not. And today I finally want to sit down and just talk about that. Not only for everybody who's been asking, but also maybe primarily for myself, because I feel like if I put all of this down and publish this video, I will feel a little bit more fulfilled. For a year, I have been wanting to make this video, but I felt like if I put everything down that I want to say about this, it will be many hours long. I tried it again and again, and I didn't know how to approach this topic. So today I just want to sit down and talk straight. I am an atheist, as mentioned before. I'm not agnostic about my atheism, so I am not the one who says that we do not or cannot know whether God exists or not. I would say that I am Gnostic, sure, in my atheism. So I certainly reject belief in God. I'm convinced that God does not exist. That said, mine is not a kind of positive, assertive atheism.
Wait, yeah.
We got a super chat.
Yes, I know.
Nayak saying boring class. For those who don't know, he likes to trash talk us in the form of super chat. He's joking.
Yeah, it's.
And then
I like it.
saying, my favorite Nayak. I think he's my favorite Nayak too. Okay.
Wait,
no, but how excited was I when he said that he was Gnostic? I was like, oh,
well,
yes!
I mean, not. Okay, so just to be fair, I'm an agnostic atheist towards deistic gods. I'm also a Gnostic atheist towards biblical and Quranic gods, right? So
like personal God.
Yeah, any personal god. That yeah. So it depends. So agnostic depends on which god you're talking about. Deistic gods, you have to be an agnostic atheist towards that god. But all the other gods, Gnostic atheists. But then he said he's not a positive atheist, but isn't Gnostic atheism? Anyways, well, we don't have to get hung in the semantics.
I certainly do not believe in God. I'm convinced that there is no God, but I also don't go ahead trying to preach to people that God does not exist.
That's what he means by positive atheist. That's what he means by positive atheist.
But that's not what positive atheism means.
Yeah.
So positive atheism doesn't mean that you go and tell people that there's no God. Positive atheism is more in line with what he said earlier, which is being a Gnostic atheist. So he is a positive atheist. There is nothing in the definition of positive atheism that requires you to go tell other people that you don't believe in God.
That God does not exist. That said, mine is not a kind of positive, assertive atheism. I certainly do not believe in God. I'm convinced that there is no God, but I also don't go ahead trying to preach to people that God does not exist. And
I don't like the word preach here, because to me it suggests that there's something religious about telling people that there is no God. Because if we use the word preach, we could use that on telling people that Islam. I think when people use the word preach, they kind of are suggesting there's something negative about the advocacy that you're doing. And you could easily use, he said preach, didn't he?
Yes.
Right? You could easily use that on anything that you're telling people. For example, on why Islam is wrong, or why human rights matter, or why children are starving, or why animal rights activism, so any form of advocacy or raising awareness about an issue could be labeled as preaching if you do not like it. And I don't think that doesn't necessarily, because it's based on this understanding that preaching is negative, and then you associating a form of advocacy with preaching, you're taking a jab at it without necessarily saying why it's the wrong thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, first of all, we don't go to people to tell them why we don't think there is a God. We say it on our own platforms, and people come to us, right? But people describe it as preaching anyways. But if that could be described as preaching, what form of advocacy is not preaching then?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, literally everything would basically be preaching veganism. A veganist would be preaching. People who make videos about philosophy and argue for one political side over the other are preaching. When I think of preaching, I usually think of, as you said, priests trying to sell you religion. They're trying to recruit you into their group. And that's why I have that negative connotation with preaching. And so I don't like it when people say atheistic preaching. Sure, there are probably some obnoxious and abrasive atheists out there that walk up towards a church or something. I'm sure they exist. But generally speaking, someone like Cosmic Skeptic or someone like Genetically Modified Skeptic aren't doing that. As you said, they have their own platform, and they're using that platform to just have philosophical conversations, especially Cosmic Skeptic. He's not actually anywhere near as abrasive as someone like Christopher Hitchens is. He's pretty cordial. So to say that someone like Cosmic Skeptic is preaching atheism, I think is pretty silly. So I don't like it when people use that word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's silly per se, but yeah, because I mean, people say that about. I mean, I've heard it so many times, but I'm just saying that it's just. I think it's people use it on something when they think it's too much. You're saying it too much, but I don't think people apply that to the things that they care about, right? I think it's just a very subjective. I think when somebody is talking so much about something they care about that you don't care about as much as a form of advocacy, then you sing it as preachy, but then you don't apply the same standard to something you care about, and you think it's justified to go out and advocate about it. But that's what I think. Yeah.
Right. I mean, at that point, I would say the word preachy is kind of like pointless, because you would just apply that to anything that people sort of hammer on about over and over again. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Yes.
That this is a lie, that there is no deity. What matters to me is that I don't believe. And maybe I'm close to what is called agnosticism or non-cognitivism, where the thought is that the question, does God exist, is rather irrelevant or a meaningless question, because the word God itself does not carry any proper meaning.
Well, that's why we define what mean. Okay, so God means to most people a conscious creator of the universe, and I think the fact that I think it does matter a lot. The reason, I mean, it does matter for the simple reason that most people believe in a conscious creator of the universe, right?
Exactly.
Like, for example, the idea of leprechauns being real or not doesn't seem like a very important question to me at all. Like, first of all, they don't, but why would we even have a discussion about that? That doesn't seem like an important debate. But if all of a sudden, not 1 billion, okay, not even 500 million, not even 100 million, okay, just 2 million. If you showed me, like, Armin, there are 2 million people out there on the planet that seriously believe leprechauns are real, and like, okay, this is what the hell? Like, we need to address this. Like, that's a sign of some problem. How are these people are evaluating reality and coming up to conclusions, right? I feel like, imagine there's 2 million people that seriously believe that the leprechauns with, like, with the treasure and the rainbow thing and the coins and all and the wishes and all of that is real. That would be like that would be an issue that we need to address. Like, people are morons and they don't even know how to evaluate reality. So to me, it's a very important question to address now. Okay.
Well, yeah,
so,
it's like why palm reading is so harmful, or tarot cards.
It doesn't even have to be harmful by its own. The fact that, like, let's say it's completely harmless. The fact that people believe in it is indication of an issue of people not knowing how to evaluate reality. Even if the belief by itself doesn't cause any harm, it indicates that there is a problem. Do you know what I mean? So if that would be a sign of a problem to me, then how many billions of people believe in God? And by God, we're talking about a conscious creator of the universe. So the fact that most of this planet not just like millions, not hundreds of millions, not even 1 billion. The fact that billions of people, in fact, the vast majority of this planet, believes that there's a conscious creator for everything, and they have zero good reasons to believe in it, and they have no evidence for it. I mean, if that is not a thing that you want to worry about, if that is not a sign to you that we have to address this, I don't know. I mean, is there not only to me that not only that's not just an important question, to me it seems like it's one of the most important questions of how do we live on a planet that this many people are this detached from reality, from objectively analyzing what is true or not. Like it's really high up there based on but these standards. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm an anti-theist.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world. The fact of the matter is that we live in a world in which progress is propelled by holding a mentality that is based in evidence-based thinking. And so if you have a huge collective amount of people under the illusion that those rules don't apply to a specific aspect of reality, that should be a huge problem. It is. You know, it is, yeah, obviously. And
wait, guys. Sorry to interrupt you, Vince, but
oh.
He's here.
Yeah.
AP himself is saying, "Who's this idiot? What a punchable face! What are you talking about?"
We're gonna get a strike. No, we don't condone violence here, AP. Get out of here.
That's his plan. Sabotage.
But Vince was making an important point against AP.
Yeah, now that he's here and he could hear me.
Now he's gonna like no, okay, Vince, you were saying.
But it really does matter. And so this is why I focus so much on what it is that people believe rather than what sophisticated theologians believe, where they say, well, most theologians, most of us sophisticated theologians don't believe in hell. I'm not really interested in what you specifically believe if over 90% of Christians do believe in a hell, or if they do believe in something that is patently dangerous to society. That's what I'm mainly focused on. And as I said before, we live in a world where everything that works because of evidence-based thinking, whether we're talking about medicine, technology, scientific revolutions, it is predicated on that idea. And if you have a large portion of people that for some reason hold a blind eye towards the metaphysical world, for some reason that they can't really understand themselves, that's a problem, and we need to address that. So that's why I'm an anti-theist. Even if it's completely harmless, I would still be against it, because I'd be concerned about the ramifications that it would have for future progress.
There is no such thing as a harmless falsehood. And I wasn't so hardcore about my anti-theism until I really sat down and thought about that.
All right. Actually, the reason why Susanna is here now is Susanna discovered Atheist Republic because of my debate with the Apostate Prophet. So the fact that I crushed the Apostate in that debate.
I wasn't a debate. You guys were just talking about.
I know, we were just talking. Yeah.
And AP was making me extremely triggered and frustrated with his opinions on Christianity.
I can't imagine Armin not turning it into a debate.
AP. Oh, thank you, AP, for the $10 super chat.
He really hates himself.
Destroy this guy. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I do have
to
be honest. When I was watching that conversation, I was like, Armin is just so much more consistent on this. You just made a lot more sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
No, but I have to thank the Apostate Prophet for introducing Susanna to because Susanna found Atheist Republic through Apostate Prophet.
Susanna found Muslims because of Apostate Prophet.
Yeah. And now she's the CEO of Atheist Republic. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Yes.
Defined meaning. It's rather an idea that emerged and was shaped over time by people in different ways.